Hey folks, this is Zach with a test run of GPT-Zero. This is part of an ongoing series Nick and I are doing, trying out the different AI detection options. So GPT-Zero is probably the one that you have heard of. It's received a lot of press attention. It's kind of a cool story about the guy who developed it. Let's jump right in. Okay, this is the default screen that you see if you just go to gptzero.me. You don't even need an account to get here. The thing that I find kind of humorous about this user interface on this part of the page is that it says, hey, go ahead and insert stuff and we'll tell you whether or not we think it is created by AI. So let's just try that out real quick, get results. Oh my gosh, it was written by AI. And this is sort of a weird thing. It's kind of like somebody has a book of riddles and then they're telling you one and then telling you the answer to showcase how good they are at solving riddles when obviously they have the book. Okay, so let's actually go into the tool and test it out with some stuff that isn't pre-scripted. So the first thing I have is a paper proposal for reforming Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act. Maybe not interesting to you. I love freedom of speech stuff, so I love this kind of research and writing. Okay, let's see what the program says. This is version 3.5 of ChatGPT, a paper proposal, and it astutely points out that this was likely written entirely by AI. So you'll see a couple of things with the user interface. It gives you the nice summary saying, yes, this was likely written by AI. If we scroll down a little bit, we can see some numbers down here. I don't actually know what these mean, and I doubt very many people do, but perhaps that might contribute with a more nuanced understanding to whether or not this is actionable. Not really sure. Let's pop some more examples in here and see what hits. Okay, same prompt, GPT 4.0. Let's see what it says. Very interesting. So now it's flagging portions of this with a highlighted text saying it thinks that was AI written. And then another portion, argument one, it says was argument 1 and 2, it says were likely written by a human. So I have no idea why it would flag some of that stuff and not others, just because it is a more advanced prompting structure in version 4.0. So I also teach public speaking class. In that class, we don't turn in full prose. Instead, we turn in outlines, and then the students speak from the outline. Let's try version 3.5, a speech outline about adopting a vegetarian diet. Very interesting. So for maybe this is an anomaly. I think it's likely that this program is not very good at detecting outline structures as something that might have been written by AI, because it says this whole thing was written by a human, which is pretty interesting. We get some different results with some of the different plagiarism checking tools. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see some of those. Okay, let's see version 4.0. Same prompt, version 4.0, same thing. It says it was written entirely by a human. So yeah, couple takeaways. The first one is this appears to be better at full prose than it is outline format. And I think it might have to do with the items down here that it is seeking out, because these have to do with sentence structure and word variation. And obviously those things manifest differently in outlines than they do in full prose. Another thing to know then is that if you have GPT produce an outline and then write from that outline, it seems really unlikely that this particular tool is going to identify that. Another takeaway from this is I have no idea if any of this is actionable. Even if you have a policy in your syllabus, I don't know what you could do with this other than calling the student into your office and saying, hey, why don't you talk to me about what happened here? And then just having that conversation. Maybe it's a learning experience, maybe not. Right now, there seems to be an arms race in between the generation tools, the large language models, and the detection software. And at least in this case, it looks like the language generation stuff is winning.